is the number one question from your clients, Victoria, how much longer can this rally roll on? Or if not, what is it?
Yeah, people are certainly, but there's almost two sides to that story. You have one camp that says this has to fall apart, and you almost have the other, the FOMO, fear of missing out camp that says, well, gosh, I have to get heavier into stocks. So quite frankly, I think this rally has legs. I think it can continue to go forward. I think the vaccine coming, I know the rollout's been a little slow. We've got a big week this week with Georgia and then the confirmation. But at the same point, there's a lot more upside, I think, in stocks than there are in bonds. And you look around at the landscape and with the markets getting better, most likely, and the vaccine getting rolled out, there's a good story behind stocks. Even if they are stretched on valuations, valuations aren't stretched equally across the market. Tech valuations, probably a little stretched. Some of the value stocks, not as much.
I don't want to start off the new year, Victoria, by asking you to dip into the world of politics. There's plenty of other channels that do that. But from a market's perspective, people say that it does matter. How closely are you watching that Georgia vote tomorrow?
Certainly, very closely. Both Georgia and then what happens Wednesday, though I think Wednesday's going to be messy, but go through just fine. Georgia, quite frankly, we think that they'll hold probably one of two seats, and there could be a relief rally with that. And obviously, if the Democrats do flip both seats, that could actually have a sell-off happen, because then you might have some more aggressive tax policies and other things the market isn't counting in right now. So you look at this and say Georgia matters a lot, but consensus in the baseline, which you want to invest towards the baseline, and what is probable, not what is possible, is that the Republicans will hang on to at least one of the two seats. Polling is really tight. We did see polling fall apart a little bit in November. Turnout's high. Weather's supposed to be good tomorrow across Georgia. So we'll just have to see what the voters turn up and say. But certainly either one could pop the market or bring it back down to earth.
Yeah, and I know that you and I have talked about, because you're there in Texas, some of the oil stocks. I know that you like Chevron. You still do. Obviously, fossil fuel companies could be either likely not beneficiaries, but certainly impacted by a Democratic sweep, or perhaps any big climate change legislation that may come out of the Biden administration. But all that said, you are still a believer in Chevron. Why?
Absolutely. So it's one of the best integrated oils out there. They actually have almost a 6% dividend yield right now. They're a great company. And yeah, fossil fuels is slowly pivoting more towards solar and renewables, but that's a slow pivot. You're turning an aircraft carrier there. It's not going to happen overnight. And they actually are going to pick up, I believe, some market share when you've seen some of the integrated European oils start to step back a little bit from traditional oil and gas and pivot more towards renewables, your BPs and your Shells. That's actually more market share globally for Chevron. And so we think there's still a lot of upside in oil and gas. We think that industry is critically important still to this country. And so with oil around 45 to 50, that's well within Chevron's break even. They have a great balance sheet, strong cash flow, very capital discipline. There's a lot to like about Chevron going into next year, and very, very conservatively valued. You want to look around this market right now and say, what has upside? And I think oil and gas is a great recovery story.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.